angles.
No.
Okay? Now, something that we already know about triangles, that when we add all of the angles together, they always equal what?
180.
180. So we know that the sum of all three interior angles of a triangle equal 180. And that is so important that you know that. Okay? So important. Make sure Chromebooks are shut.
Yeah, Blake.
Okay? So if I have a triangle, I know that if one of them's 30 and the other one's 60, what does the third one have to be?
What did you say?
90. So if I have a triangle and I know that two of the angles, one of them's 30, one of them's 60, so 30 plus 60 is 90, the other one has to be 90 because 90 plus 90 is 180. Let's use one of the handheld ones right there. All right. Also, if I know that one of the angles is 50, the other one's 100, what's the third one have to be? 30, because they all have to add to 180. Okay, so with these, I can use some of these rules to help us find missing angles. Okay, so remember, we've got corresponding parts where they're located in the same spot, and I know that they're equal. Alternate interior, they're inside the parallel lines and opposite across from each other, so they're equal. We've got alternate exterior, so they're on the outside of the parallel lines, opposite, so they're equal. Vertical, directly across from each other, equal. And then straight, supplementary, 180. Okay? All right, so moving on down here, proof 1. It says line A is parallel to line B. Prove that the sum of the interior angles in triangle B or DCE equals 180. Okay, so they give us a couple things here. Okay? They want us to figure out what angle 1 is first. Okay? Now, to figure out what angle 1 is, I've got to first find it. So right here. All right, Ryan, what are you going to say? It's an alternate interior. So what Ryan's looking at here, Audrey, shut it. Addison, shut it for the third time. I'm looking right here and right here. These are between the parallel lines. They're alternate interior angles, and I know that alternate interior angles are equal. So I know that if angle D is 62, so is angle 1 because they're alternate interior. So right here, I'm going to put alternate interior. That's my explanation of why I know that angle 1 is also 62. Okay, now they want us to find angle 3. What is angle 3?
35.
It's 35 because these are also alternate interior. They're on the opposite side of that transversal. They're between the parallel lines, so they're alternate interior. So angle 3 is 35. The alternate interior again. Now, to find angle 2, a lot of you all are going to be like, well, Miss Wilson, I know that all triangles have a degree of 180 when I add up all their inside angles. But that's what we're trying to prove. So we don't want to say that. Is there something else that we can use to figure out what angle 2 is, Ryan? Because why? Which one of these is it? All of them together are supplementary. So what he's saying is to find angle 2, I know that all three of these angles are on that straight line, which means all three of them are supplementary, which means when I add all three of them together, they equal 180. Well, I said that angle 1 is 62. I said that angle 3 is 35. So 62 plus 35, that's 97. And since I know supplementary is 180, 180 minus 97 is 83. So angle 2 is 83. So I'm going to put that Angle 1 and angle 3 and angle 2 are supplementary.
Yep.
Okay, and it says conclusion. The sum of the interior angles in a triangle is 180 because when I add them together, so when I take angle, this is angle D, so angle D plus angle E plus angle C are 180. Okay, is 180. It's not grammar, is 180. Yeah. So that when I add all three of those angles together, they do equal 180. All right, let's look at proof 2. And we're just exploring, this isn't what the actual lesson's about. This is exploring figuring out how to find angles using these. Okay, and then on the back, it's something a little bit different. Okay, so looking at this one, it says line C is parallel to line D. So these are parallel lines. Lines E and F are transversal, so that means they just cut it. Fact, angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3 equal what? So here's angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. What do they equal? 180, because they are supplementary. They're on a straight line. So supplementary, you can put straight line there. Now, we don't know what any of these angles are. So the one above, they told us what a couple of them were. This one, we know nothing, okay? So looking at fact 2, they want to know what angle 2 is equal to. Karen? They're not. No. Okay, Frankie? Why? So, angle 2, they want to know what it's equal to. It's equal to angle 4 because these are on a transversal, they're alternate, and they're interior. So it's equal to angle 4 by alternate interior angles. They have to be like across from each other, like directly across from each other. All right, Ryan? Okay, so on the next one, I want to know what angle 1 is equal to. So Ryan, what's it equal to? It is equal to angle 5. Why? Because they're corresponding. So here's angle 1, and it's on this transversal, and it's above this line. And angle 5 is also above the line. So these are equal because they're corresponding parts. All right, and the sum of all the interior angles in a triangle is 180, and that's just because all the interior angles add 20. So once again, these proofs that we're doing are not what the lesson is really about. These proofs are just showing us, okay, can we look at two parallel lines and see a triangle between them? So does everybody see the triangle between them? And even if that triangle is between two parallel lines, it's on the outside of two parallel lines, it doesn't matter because we know that all triangles have a sum of 180. And even if something is missing, you could come over here and use one of these to help you figure out the internal angle, that interior angle. Okay, so it's not really what the whole lesson's about, but it's just showing you that you can still find angles even if you don't know any on the other side. Okay, this one, same deal. It says, use what you know about angle relationships to answer the following questions. So it says line C is parallel to line D. What is the measure of angle 5? So this is what we're going to be finding. If angle 2 is 48, and angle 3 is 93. So everybody take a minute, and I want you to figure out what the measure of angle 5 is. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do this, so your way might not be my way. I want you to take a minute to find what that angle 5 is. Yeah. Okay, hold on. All right, Simeon. Well, what'd you do first?
I added 93 and 48 and got 141.
No, it's not right. It was just a coincidence. All right. What did somebody notice first? What missing angle did you find first? All right, Franklin.
I found
What do you mean you found angle 4 first? That's what I did too. Is I said that these two angles are alternate interior. So if I know this is 48, I know this is also 48. Okay, that's what I did. And then, what are some other options? All right, Gather. You could find angle 1. So then you could find angle 1 because all 3 of these angles are what? Supplementary. And then these 2 angles are corresponding, and they would be the same. So a couple different ways. I personally, what I did was once I knew these 2, I knew that 93 plus 48 is 141, and I know that a triangle makes 180. So I did 180 minus 141 and got 39. I also could have done what you were saying. We could have found that this was also 39 and then said that these two, that angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. Yes, sir.
Isn't angle 4 and angle 5 supplementary? They're on the same line. I thought at first it was like 132 was kind of supplementary. No.
Well, but here's the thing. Yes, but no. If they did not form a triangle like that, that's a possibility. But because they form a triangle, that puts another constraint on it. Does that make sense? Because then I know that all 3 of those angles have to be 180. It just can't be those 2. Anybody else? Okay, well, let's move on to number 2 at the bottom there. So it says, use what you know about the sum of angles in a triangle to set up and solve an equation to find the missing measure of each missing angle. Okay, so on number 2, they give us a picture of this triangle. They tell me that this is 5x plus 5, this is 3x plus 5, and what's this? Right. This is a right angle, which means it's 90. A right angle means 90. Okay, now, what do we know about all the interior angles of a triangle? They equal 180. So that means that if I have this angle and I add it to this angle plus this angle, it's going to equal 180. So 5x plus 5 plus that 3x plus 5 plus that 90, I know that it's all going to have to equal 180. All 3 of those angles added together have to equal 180. Which makes sense how we've been practicing our DMR all week. You should be able to combine the like terms. Okay, so like terms that I have here are this 5x and this 3x. So 5x plus 3x is 8x. I've got some numbers. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 90 is 100. I'll subtract the 100. So that's 8x equals 80. Divide by 8, and x is 10.
We're not done.
And we're not done because it didn't ask what x was, it asked what the measure of each angle is. So what should I do with that 10? Like, plug them in where the x's are. So this one up here, this is going to be 5 times 10 plus 5. So that's 50 plus 5, which is 55. And what angle is that one?
90.
No, what angle is that? A. So I'm going to put 55 on line A. B, we already know B was 90. There's told us that. And then C, 3 times 10 plus 5. So that's 30 plus 5, which is 30. All right, but Audrey's at home and she's like, man, I really don't know if my 3 angles are right. What's one thing she could do? And what should they be? 180. And 55 plus 35 is 90, and 90 plus 90 is 180. All right, why don't you all try number 3 on your own?
Both? What? The eczema, psoriasis?
I want to say
All I heard was paleontologist lawsuit outside. All I heard.
That's white. Says he has work
Today was sweat day and I didn't even.
I always wear sweat.
Yeah, but I realized I don't own it.
I don't own any paint.
I hate
Yeah, so you're
I hate you.
Okay. All right, so the 3 angles added together. So the 13x minus 3 plus the 6x plus 1 plus the 68 is going to be 180. I'm running my other problem here. So 13x plus 6x is 19x. Negative 3 plus 1, that's negative 2 plus 68, that's 66. Subtract the 66. So that's 19x equals 14. Divide by 19. And we get 6. All right, so I know that angle F was 68, so I'm going to put the 68 there. Then go back up here. 13 times 6 minus 3, that's 18, that's 78 minus 3, so 75. And then 6 times 6 plus 1, that's 36 plus 1, which is 37. All right, yeah, you all can go ahead and try number 4. If you want to try number 5, that's fine. Alright, so add all three together, 2x plus 2x plus 4x, that's 8x minus 20 equals 180. Add the 20, so 8x equals 200, divide by 8, and x is 25. Right? See? Okay, so 2 times 25 is 50, so angle G is 50. Angle I is also 50, because 2 times 25 is 50. And then 4 times 25 is 100. 100 minus 20 is 80. And 50 plus 50 plus 80 is 20. Alright, and then moving on to number 5, what do I always tell you all? If they don't give a picture, draw it. So triangle JKL. So here's my triangle. Here's JKL. Angle K is 3 times the measure of angle J. Angle L is 8 times the measure of angle J. Find the measure of each angle in triangle JKL. Well, what is J? X. We don't know J. They're asking us to find all three of them, so I'm going to call J X. It tells us that angle K is 3 times the measure of angle J. So what would angle K be? How would you write that? 3x. Okay, it tells us that angle L is 8 times the measure of J. 8x. Then I can find them all, because I know that all three of those together equal 180. So that 3x plus x plus 8x is going to be 180. So it's 12x equals 180. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 8 is 12. Divide by 12, and what's x? 15. So that means that angle J is 15. What about angle K?
45.
Because 3 times 15 is 45. And then angle L, 120. And 120 plus 45 plus 15, that is 180.
We knew not one. Oh, but